Republicans are considering a desperate move to take out Donald Trump. Clearly, the Republican Party establishment is aware of the danger that Donald Trump poses to their brand and just more broadly to their chances of being the winners in the 2016 presidential election. And they are now looking at a very hardcore, authoritarian, heavy handed approach to get Donald Trump out of here. The South Carolina Republican Party announced that for presidential candidates to qualify for the South Carolina primary, they have to pledge, number one, to support the eventual Republican nominee, whoever he or she ends up being. And number two, they have to pledge not to run as third-party candidates. Now, why does this impact Donald Trump? You may remember that in that first major Republican debate, the Facebook Fox News debate, Donald Trump was the only candidate who did not say, who said he would not take a pledge not to run as a third party candidate. He wants to leave that possibility open. So according to the new rules, without taking that pledge, he would not be allowed to run in the South Carolina primary. North Carolina and Virginia are considering similar requirements. This is the North Carolina and Virginia Republican parties, of course. This is aimed directly at Donald Trump. And they're not stupid, Lewis. They're looking at the same numbers we have, which is that based on a simple analysis, if Donald Trump can retain somewhere between some fraction of his 20 to 35% support among the Republican Party as a third party candidate, he could single-handedly turn the election to the eventual Democratic presidential nominee. And the Republican Party realizes that.
Can't blame them for worrying. I just think that this doesn't seem like it's a legal move. How can you actually implement this? It doesn't seem like this would fly.
My understanding is that it is indeed legal for state Republican parties to dictate, as long as they're not violating very specific sorts of laws, they can do something like this. I agree with you that it is completely anti-democratic. Imagine a situation where the Republican Party says, hey, the most popular guy, we're going to sort of strong arm him into either doing what we want or not being the nominee. It's completely anti-democratic. But I believe, my understanding is that it is legal for them to do this. And I actually don't like the policy, not because I think Donald Trump is a great candidate, but because I want Donald Trump to stay in this thing as long as possible, ideally lose the South Carolina primary, then announce that he's running as a third party candidate and have a shot at turning that state blue. That would be just fantastic.
Yeah, we've both said that we want Trump to remain in this for as long as possible. It's really good for everybody. It's good for this country. It's good for this show. It's good for all media outlets.
There is a way, though, that it could backfire, Lewis, which is if South Carolina sticks to this policy and other states say, hey, yeah, we like that. If Trump doesn't pledge not to run as a third party candidate, we're not going to put him on the Republican ballot. That would almost guarantee that Trump runs as a third party candidate because he won't be allowed on enough Republican ballots to actually be able to secure the nomination. That would almost guarantee he says, well, of course I'm going to run as a third party candidate now.
Yeah, if they've thought about that, I mean, perhaps there's some collusion here among states to just pick enough states to implement this type of policy and see what happens. But the whole thing does seem pretty desperate.